up here. The sun is going around the earth, from the east around the earth. Easter ആരംഭിച്ചിട്ട് sunrises in east and
അതേ ബോക്സിലെവിടെ
taking a tour of this hospital, which I've done for the last hour before we began this function. It's truly a 21st century construction, very thoughtfully and intelligently designed in a way that I believe will ease the pain and anxiety that all of us feel when we enter hospitals, whether as patients or as relatives and friends. It's an extremely thoughtfully and at the same time technologically advanced establishment. I see that the design has taken into account everything from parking to the way in which you can rush an emergency accident victim to the casualty ward in a facility that goes straight into the x-rays and the operating theatres, the way in which you can get your outpatient consultations done on the ground floor, on the first floor, and then you can quickly proceed. If necessary, you can go to these extremely comfortable and well-appointed hospital rooms where they have chemo facilities, where they have a state-of-the-art X-ray machine that I've never seen before in my life, everything operated remotely, all sorts of amazing paraphernalia, thoughtfully designed, very comfortable as well for the patients. Not that patients are often in a position to enjoy comfort, but as much as possible, they have made the experience of going to a hospital pleasant, and they tell me affordable. I say they tell me because the patient alone knows how affordable it is. So as far as the facility is concerned, 100% marks to the SP4 Medifort people. They've done a very impressive job, and I believe we have in Thiruvananthapuram now a 21st century facility available to all of us. I was struck by the fact that they said that in the cath lab they have a 3D imager which does not exist anywhere else in the whole of South India. That, to my mind, is a very impressive achievement that all of us in the capital of Kerala can be truly proud of. Now, ultimately, a hospital has to be judged not by the facilities but by the quality of the medical care, and that we have to leave to the good sense of the establishment at SP Medifort, but they make sure that they have the highest standards of doctors, nurses, and patient care. I have no reason to doubt that they will do their very best in matching the standards that they're reputed for and exceeding them as well in this impressive facility. And they're already planning for the future. The young scion of the family told me that they have built the building in such a way that the infrastructure will not need any upgrading for the next 25 years. And I must say, looking around, I believe it. Other than perhaps some equipment that will need to be upgraded, everything else seems to have been very thoughtfully thought through. And they're now building a new block for oncology where radiation will also be possible. So we're looking at a futuristic establishment that has already got an eye on the future, and this is something we can all be proud of here in Thiruvananthapuram. Today's function is dedicated to awareness about cancer. I was saying to our organizers that this Cancer Awareness Day is actually on November 7th. What are we doing today? But today actually is a day dedicated to cancer welfare. There is that it's a day dedicated to the patients. And that, to my mind, is a very thoughtful occasion. for us to celebrate the opening of this hospital. I was
speak
looking up
relief
some
in the
things,
hospital.
and I think it's sobering. Already we heard Mr. Kapoor telling us that Kerala is the cancer capital of the country. And that's a sad story for all of us, that we have so many cases. But in India as a whole, there are almost 15 lakh patients for cancer. In other words, out of every lakh people in this country, 100 people have cancer. That's a very seriously high number. But what they are saying now is that this is expected to increase to almost 16 lakh by 2025. So we're looking at an illness that is not only prevalent but is increasing. And that is something we need to be very, very conscious of. Sadly, even though smoking is now completely out of fashion, lung cancer remains a major threat and is still the major killer amongst men. I understand that women, of course, have no choice in their affliction, which is breast cancer. And there, all we can urge them to do at a particular age onwards is to insist on regular annual checkups and mammograms. I believe those facilities are also available there, right? You have all the facilities available for now. There is undoubtedly a challenge, by and large, in other states, where the kind of facilities available here are simply not available there. And we as Keralites, even though we have more incidences, we can be at least reasonably proud of the fact that we can detect cancer early and we can treat it with the state-of-the-art treatments that are available in a place like SP Medical. The government is also pitching in with things like the Rashtriya Arogya Nidhi and the Health Minister's discretionary grants to poor patients with cancer. And this is something which I have personally had recourse to for some of the patients who have come to me. The Regional Cancer Center still remains a very impressive facility. The problem there is the serious overcrowding. That's what I would urge, in addition to today's commemoration of Cancer Welfare Day, which is also known as Rose Day, named for a girl called Melinda Rose, who asked such a day to be established in the year 2000. What's your name? Okay, good luck. I'll see you at TMC one day. My congratulations. Oh, wonderful. You're also an audience.
Maybe ask them to move a bit that
And Dr. Lisa Joyce, an eminent anesthesiologist for 25 years.
Thank you. Well, I'm a fan of yours now. I'm very somewhat suffering. And I think that those who have designed this hospital have kept that very well in mind. I'm impressed also with the size of the facilities. I was glad to see they had a separate entrance for the emergencies and the casualties. You come right in and you can be wheeled immediately, whether it is to an immediate operating theatre or to having an x-ray done or anything else. Everything is laid out in the most intelligently thoughtful way and at the same time in a very spacious way. On top of that, we have seen that there are all the casual comforts which have not been neglected, from a coffee shop as soon as you enter the lobby to the big cafe and the toy shop in case a child is a patient and needs to be consoled. This wonderful, wonderful thought has gone into all of this. So I would congratulate the establishment of the SP Fort Hotels. I said hotels because the hospital is as attractive in some ways as a hotel, but the SP Fort Hospitals. They really built a 21st century hospital. And what's striking is that I was told by the young man showing me around that for the next 25 years, the infrastructure is not likely to require any upgrading. because everything is state of the art and can be brought up to speed when needed. And that's very impressive. The project hasn't stopped here. It's going to continue with the construction of one more block. And there I understand there's going to be radiation facilities and so on. The chemo facilities are already provided here are pretty impressive. And I imagine that the way in which the hospital has been laid out, it will be both convenient and attractive. When you come to a place, you don't think about these things, you come only for treatment. And so everything ultimately depends on the medical attention you get and the quality of the doctors. That we rely on SP4 to maintain the standards that they're reputed for. But the building in which treatment is offered, first class, that's all I can say. Okay.